references in the first piece. There's usually a lot of fish references in my poem, but there won't be any tonight. At least I don't think there are. Julian and I, this is a found poem that Julian and I have put together, and you might guess where some of it's come from, you might not. It's called, there might be a clue in the title, it's called The Wooden Clothes Horse. I'm forced into speech because men of science refuse to follow my advice without knowing why. It is altogether against my will that I tell my reasons for opposing this contemplated invasion of the Antarctic, with its vast fossil hunt and its wholesale boring and melting of the ancient ice cap. And I am more reluctant because my warning may be in vain. Doubts of the real facts, as I must reveal them, is inevitable. Yet if I suppress what will seem extravagant and incredible, there will be nothing left. The hitherto withheld photographs, both ordinary and aerial, will count in my favour, for they are damnably vivid and graphic. Still they will be doubted because of the great lengths to which clever fakery can be carried. The ink drawings, of course, will be jeered at as obvious impostures, notwithstanding a strangeness of technique which art experts ought to remark and puzzle over.
And presently, particularly since he had taken a large amount of brandy and so further mellowed a mellow nature, he rose as to infuse uninjured, though concussed at the slow impact, raised the latch of the area door by the control system of its freely moving lance to the dull, low equilibrium that, as you should think, depends on the olden calendar and the codices. Regaining new leverage of the first kind applied at its fulcrum entered directly the kitchen through the clumpings of small fire hills, ignited a lucifer match by friction that did cast fire and noise, set free inflammable coal gas by turning on the roaring of monstrous springs of oil, lit a high flame which, by regulating the smell of the wood about us, he reduced to evaporate and condense a liquid that did steep herbs, tea or the like, repeatedly from that sinus reflux, as when extracting substances by quiescent candescence, and lit finally a portable candle that did burn, incandescent, lonesome, in some far and constant seeming silence. One beam of light that floated over skeletons locked in limestone upon a mosaic floor, silvered in odd places by the pulsing trails of slugs and snails.
Were there reverse meditations of involution increasingly less vast, of the aeons of geological periods recorded in the stratifications of the earth, of the myriad minute entomological organic existences concealed in cavities of the earth, beneath removable stones, in hives and mounds, of microbes, germs, bacteria, bacilli, spermatozoa, of the incalculable trillions of billions of millions of imperceptible molecules contained by cohesion and molecular affinity in a single pinhead, of the universe of human serum constellated with red and white bodies, each in continuity, its universe of divisible component bodies of which was again divisible in divisions of redivisible component bodies, its dividends and divisions ever diminishing without actual division till, if the progress were carried far enough, naught nowhere was never reached.
For it did be, beside here, under a row of 5 coiled spring vent-cock parts, was a desolation, where a monstrous force of shadows did go. A curvilinear rope came in that place, and set a concussion of house bells, because it did remove bitter flavouring, or prepare for freezing that wondrous growing of trees and great plants in abundance. Stretched between 2 holdfasts, from which there were miles of them, across the recess by the chimney, hung 4 square handkerchiefs that did be blanched, folded unattached consecutively, and 1 pair of ladies' grey hose, flesh tubes with lyre suspended tops and feet penetrating their pus-filled channel, clamped by 3 erect wooden pegs, 2 at their outer extremities, and the 3rd at the point of conjunction of the hill, athwart a small-sized ship among the trees that came very nigh to the shore for a great way.
We may anticipate with confidence that many edifices and implements of human workmanship and the skeletons of men and casts of the human form will continue to exist when the great part of the present mountains, continents and seas will have disappeared. Assuming the future duration of the planet to be indefinitely protracted, we can foresee no limit to the punctuation of some of the memorials of man, which are continually entombed in the bowels of the earth or in the bed of the ocean, unless we carry forward our views to a period sufficient to allow the various causes of change, both igneous and aqueous, to remodel more than once the entire crust of the earth. One complete revolution will be inadequate to efface every monument of our existence. Yet it is no less true that none of the works of a mortal can be eternal. even when they have been included in rocky strata, when they have been made to enter, as it were, into the solid framework of the globe itself, they must nevertheless eventually perish. For every year some portion of the Earth's crust is shattered by earthquakes or melted by volcanic fire or ground to dust by the moving waters on the surface.
Did he rise to that high place only to extract an essence from a boil, typical name for uncle, in the sub-adjacent scullery and afterward be gone onward again, his body siphoned into a sphere of blue jelly, uninjured by exertion and constant shaking, moved, scuffled and gained retarded access to that habitual position around nature in the clear space of the woods, and did but make a sound, low and near as fire in a stable. When often we come down, force no flange, decoct little within, pierce or cut, also make an incision as into a boil, in this place and that. Here we mutter in all the air or liquid, begone! And again we fell, and in all it was so. But yet there be the country, and off the earth, and off still the rock.